So, welcome to this set, Activities and Equipment Kits for More Individualized Physical Education at home or at school for high school. So basically grade 7 and up. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing a patch, when I was doing some of these videos 2 months ago, I collapsed and bumped my head, damaged my cranial nerve, and so I would see two of you if I were to keep the none of the patch on. The reason I collapsed was there were so many clots in my lungs. The clots were there because of cancer. About a month ago, I had my cancerous kidney removed, and I'm on my way to healing, although a little concerned about ongoing cancer. But this is more, not so much about my pains, but about loving our children by encouraging them to be physically active and enjoying that and developing some of their skills. Every Tuesday, I post some games on Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow me there at Canada Go for Sport. So if you'd like to do that sometime, that would be great. So some of the key considerations in terms of keeping this safe is not sharing equipment. So that's why we're trying to individualize the physical education a little bit more. Trying not to pick it up with hands. So instead of, like in soccer, instead of having a goalie that would catch the ball with hands, maybe you might have pins or something like that. Keeping our distancing. The mask one is a more debatable topic, and we can talk about that after as well. So let's take a look at some activities which the players have their own equipment. So this is hula hoop horseshoe, a target activity. Basically what they're going to try to do is to get their hula hoop to roll down the other end and fall around the pylon. So let's just take a look at how this works.
All right, they're playing.
Oh, good.
Here we go. They're playing horseshoes, but with hula hoops.
Just short.
He's pretty close. Not a ringer. Closer yet, and not quite a ringer.
Just rolled the wrong way.
And no, it's not quite a ringer. One more shot. Obviously, the ringer would win it, and the one on top would win it first, and then to see who's closest.
So again, they had their own hula hoops to make that work. This next one, what we did is just do as a race. We set them up on the same side, but actually we could have just had one person start here, one person start here, and that way the players would be even more distant from each other. So it's just a race. They're not waiting for each other.
Hula hoop horseshoe race. And basically, you take your hula hoops, roll them, try to get it over there. Each one as you get over top is a point. There you go, 1 point. 1-1. Away you go. We'll see who gets 5 first, baby.
She probably shouldn't have touched his hoop there.
2-1.
But this is a partner, so done at home would be fine.
4-3. Oh, almost get it. Oh, almost 4-3. 4-3. Will she win it with this one? Not quite. Still 4-3. Oh, she got to go get hers. 4-3, 4-3, here we go, and he's tied it, 4-4. It's a tie game, we're going for 5. And, oh, almost 5. Oh, almost 5. Oh, not yet.
There we go, so just making it a race. Of course, disc golf would be perfect in a COVID activity because it's only one person who is playing. So we could use the disc golf targets as we've done here. So the target is out there.
Here's a nice target game to play. A little game of disc golf with the portable Nova disc setup.
You could use it so that they go in, but then there is some hand contact, so you can say as long as you
and this
hit.
is also a great
hit the target at any place.
Everybody just plays their own.
And then this version here, we're not using the targets at all, but we're using natural objects like trees, goalposts. So here we're just using that far tree.
Different trees as targets. Nice throw. So we're trying to get to the other tree there. So you can pick 9 different trees or picnic tables.
We should
or
have
whatever.
set this stump and you'd have one.
COVID activity as well, because we just use our own discs and note.
So that would be another way to do it. You could also set up hula hoops to be the target. Would work equally well. You could also do a kicking version of this one. Basically, instead of the disc golf targets, we would have these targets, and we'd kick the ball so that they roll underneath here. In the next presentation, we'll give you a demonstration of that one. Pickleball and other racket sports, so tennis, badminton, pickleball, would all work, but perhaps what we need to do is to use a different ball for each of the players. Or in badminton, one player might be using the yellow bird, and the other player would be using a white bird. And basically what that would mean is the person with the yellow bird could pick it up to serve. If there's a white bird on that side, they could flip it with their racket to the opposite side. So basically they're just playing their own version. You could also play it against the wall, playing a more solo activity. So in this case here, they're hitting against the wall.
And we're up. So they're just using rackets right now and just letting it bounce, keeping it going up.
And so we're going to do it with a bounce, without a bounce.
And then we'll try go across the partners. And here they go.
But again, what we would need to do is here is try to have a different colored ball so that one person, when they pick up the ball, would again just pick up their own ball, not the other player's ball. This is a little game about how far can we roll. So again, a target game. Basically what we're trying to do is start behind a line, roll the ball so that it stays in the hoop. If it stays in the hoop, we flip the hoop and we try again. This particular video has them working in teams of 2 or 3, but we could also do this individually as well. Depending on the thickness of the hula hoop and the kind of ball you're using, it's easier and harder. We can see who goes the furthest. Oh, they made it there, so now they flip it over. Don't have a video of this one, but it'd be a similar activity, but it's just a roll of tape. And a player would roll the roll of tape as far as they could. You could even do this in a parking lot, and once it goes outside certain boundary lines, that would be where it would end. This is a manipulative retain, balancing a ball. So a ball gets rolled, and the player would balance it on a certain part of their body. So we'll see how this player does. On their hands and in between their knees. Well done. Double dribble. We'll show this also in the next presentation on kicking and receiving. And again, but it's dribbling 2 balls, one with the hand and one with the feet. This one is, again, for more skilled players that are able to retain the ball. So it's just dribbling the ball with your feet, or juggling the ball with your feet, then doing a 360 turn and continuing the juggling. This fellow is in grade 5, I think, when he was doing this. But you need to be a bit skilled at this. There's a 360, and continuing to juggle the ball. So this one's kind of like the pickleball one where we demonstrated a little bit earlier, but it's just throw to a wall in a timed race. It's how many times can you bounce the ball and catch it, again, in the air or with the bounce. When we get post-COVID, we could also do this with a partner and 2 balls.
Chest passes against the wall, can't bounce on the ground. That would switch to a bounce on the ground, and doing that one well. And
so again, just individual activity. Bird ball juggle. So again, that could be like pickleball, tennis, or badminton. In this case, they're just seeing how many times they can juggle the bird or the ball with their racket.
Good. So we're just a badminton bird juggle and
just forehand,
kind of a racquetball. So just kind of keeping it going forehand as well as we can, and then we'll flip it to forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand, forehand.
A little harder.
And the ball going with both of the court. You could also have people, walk around the court as they're doing this as well. That's a pretty challenging activity.
So should 2 players share equipment? PHE Canada doesn't encourage this. United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention did suggest that most of the spreading is through the air and not so much on equipment. So I think this is a debatable area, but if the equipment was going home with individual packs, or if you felt that certain cohorts were safe, so you might have a class that stays together all the time, and so they're kind of like this bubble, and they could share equipment, then some of this would work. So we'll take a look at some net games and some striking games. In striking games, if it was like baseball, maybe use a different ball each time there's a new pitcher, and don't toss the ball unnecessarily. So this one's a send and receive. We could have, in this case, noodles, but it could be any object as well. If you want it to be COVID safe, you could use scoops. So nobody's actually touching the ball, just their own scoop. So scoops would certainly be a neat piece of equipment.
This is noodle toss. Both people tossing the noodle at the same time. If one of them misses, they take a step forward. If they both catch it, they take a step back. They try to get as far back as possible.
So again, you can use a variety of equipment there. This is a little target game, backwards partner roll, again at home or within a safe cohort.
Backwards bowling. So if you roll it between your partner's legs, that's good enough. Then you take a step forward. If you miss, they take a step back.
And let's see how far apart they
try again. And they take a step forward. The object is to see how far away you can get from each other. Back a step. Let's see if we can get 2 steps forward. That's good. Let's go 1 more step if we can get there. And yeah, I think we got it.
So net wall activities, this is basically 2 square but done with rackets. So we've got a square and a square. We also have a little target here. So if a player hits it out of bounds, the other player wins. But also if the player hits that little target, the player also wins. And in this case, they're using rackets, so not really touching the ball.
This game's all underhand, 2 square.
Oh, but he hit
trying to
the little
score
spot
by
there,
landing it into
so
the other
the other
team's
player.
square.
Yeah,
But if it hits the dot in the back of the square, it's a
this is just experimenting. Excuse me. Experimenting with width and depth by changing the court. In this case, they're using their hands. So again, if this was done at home, it would work there. If it's done within a safe cohort bubble, that would work as well. Otherwise, maybe using brackets and only one person holding the ball. So they're using a wide court here.
A short and wide court.
And just working on tactics and deception.
Yeah, you play, okay, noticing again less movement, but maybe more sort of trying to fake your opponent out. All right, and the last one, what I want you to do this time is I want you to make it long and narrow. Long and narrow.
So it just changes the strategy for netball games. Oh, I think that's out. Should be tossing the balls down. And, oops. So this one here is using scoops. So again, which is COVID safe because they're not touching the ball.
And just getting used to some scoops here, hitting it against the wall, trying not to bounce.
So they're going from, bouncing it to not bouncing it, and then they'll toss it to each other.
So just let it bounce once on the ground. Nice little bounce.
For full descriptions of these games too, you can see the
Go ahead, yeah.
web link at the top of each
Kind
of
of
these
like a longer
activities.
scoop this time, but using lacrosse sticks. And again, lacrosse stick, COVID safe activities too, because
Again, scoops, lacrosse sticks, all wonderful COVID safe kinds of pieces of equipment. So this one's just tossing in the towel, just throwing it against the wall. Probably not quite 2 meters across, but pretty close. You could use this in volleyball as well. So again, people aren't touching the ball and just need to wash the towels afterwards. So let's just take a
and toss in the towel, basically, just using the towel to toss it and see how many times we can do it. If you had 4 people, you could do the same thing, but then have players toss it to each other. Or if you're just in a neighborhood, you could probably do the same thing, but flip the ball over a fence. And you can use any kind of ball. You can use a basketball or a soccer ball just as well.
This is a COVID safe activity. This would be only COVID safe if it was done at home or done within a bubble at school. So basically, it's juggling 3 stability balls. You could use other balls as well, but stability balls are certainly challenging. This is a great workout.
So juggling 3 stability balls, really well done. We'll show you how this works in 1 sec. So we start with one ball, and it just has to go really high and then kind of go straight down to your partner. So nice and high, straight down to your partner. What we'll do now is one person throws it high, the other person steps forward and tosses it underneath. So toss, step forward, and toss it. Perfect. And now we're back to 3 balls. Just make sure it's all nice and high, and it's going, and it's going. And it becomes quite a good workout, and they've got it going, and I'll stop it there.
That's just a wonderful activity. This one's feet to feet hockey. We could pit feet to feet, or we could spread ourselves apart. So again, they are touching the same object that they're propelling. And so it'd be important that this be done like at home or within a safe cohort. This could also be in a classroom, just in between the aisles.
Hockey, feet to feet.
And they're being pretty nice to each other.
Oh, she's got it. Okay, good.
And you could have different hands being used as well to balance the whole body use. This is just a wonderful activity. You could do it all by yourself, so as a solo activity. So it requires a ball like a basketball or soccer ball with a smaller ball on top. And basically you let it drop and you try to catch the smaller ball. It could also be a beanbag. Might be easier for younger students. So again, this one's done with 2 people, but you could do it by yourself as well.
Kaboom, they're going to drop the ball. Tennis ball's going to rebound. He's going to see how many you can get in a row. Here goes. Oh! 0 so far. Let's try again.
And again, you could drop it by yourself.
And 1. That's 1. Let's see if you can get 2 in a row here. 2 in a row. Oh! 2 in a row. Here goes 3 in a row. Oh, that's all. 2 in a row is as good as it gets. Thank you.
Good reaction game. Another one, again, just done in pairs. So again, at home, inexpensive. Basically, we have a balloon, and there's a balloon inside it, which we put some beans in, so that it passes in a weird sort of way. It wobbles. So we'll just show this one. Whoa!
It's just a balloon with another little balloon inside that's got some beans in it, so it makes it a funny weight. And so it's just a little hard to catch because it's just a little bit of a wobbly. So a wobbly balloon, a great reaction game, and they caught it.
So this one is a checkers game on a big board, but you could also use a checker. It's just a regular checker set. But you would have rather than waiting for each other to take a turn, you would have a starting line, maybe 10 paces away, where a player would need to run and then run back. So it becomes very active.
Amp up your traditional checkers board game with the king-sized version that will have the class active and shouting "King Me." Introducing Gopher's King Me Checkers. Oversized 5-foot by 5-foot vinyl mat amps up the fun and gameplay variety from traditional checkers. Polyvinyl 6.5-inch diameter checker game pieces are extremely durable yet flexible and friendly, perfect for players of all ages. Included activity instructions include unique variations to keep everyone active and engaged, including team relay and tossing game. The King Me Checkers set includes a mat, 24 checkers, a Versa bag mesh storage bag, and activity instructions. Get the oversized version of the king of all board games for king-sized fun. King Me Checkers, only from Gopher.
And here too, I probably wouldn't use teams, even small teams. Just have one person go and go back. And again, this would be a fun activity to do at home. And they wouldn't need this large one. They could even just use a regular checkerboard. This is Connect 4. So they're trying to get 4 in a row, either vertically or horizontally or diagonally. And they do this with a run. So you have to start on the very bottom.
So here they're going to try to connect 4. They can go on top only when there's something on top. So basically kind of assume that it would slide down if it was sliding. Doing here. Oh, red almost said 4 in a row.
And red's got 4 in a row.
Red, we got a winner.
So we got 4 horizontally. Then of course there's lots of fitness activities that can be done well. There's lots of ladder activities. So if you go to my website, there's over 60 different ladder activities that you can do. If you don't have a ladder at home, excuse me. You could also just use chalk to make the ladder there. One really great game using topple tubes, but you could also use cups, and one person is upside down and the other person is right side up, and they're trying to get 3 of them to be up for their color.
They're trying to get 3 their color. Close. Oh, almost. Oh, still. Oh, you got. Yeah, we got blue.
Oh, she got it. Interesting. This one on Pinterest just went over 700 views. It's just a really vigorous activity. 700. And then also have an anaerobic beanbag race here. So each player tries to get beanbags on their side. So just watch that one for a minute.
Like beanbag race. 3, 2, 1, go. They're going to try to get as many beanbags as they can on their side.
And again, we're sharing these beanbags, so it needs to be done like at home, as a home activity, or with a safe cohort. There's a game of tic-tac-toe. Again, using these topple tubes from Go for Sport, or using cups would just work as well. And they're trying to get 3 in a row, but it's a double.
Double 3 in a row.
So they need to get 2 threes in a row.
They're going to try to get 2 3 in a row. So blue against yellow. So here we go.
1 blue.
Flip it over, yeah, flip it over. Yeah, 1 3 in a row for.
Oh, no, 3 in a row, 3 in a row.
Oh, they got it, they got it, they got it.
Yeah, yellow had it. This is a plank still odd, a little bit of a numeracy game. So we could throw dice. You could do this with 2 bean bags so that it remains COVID safe, unless it's in a safe cohort. So basically, when the dices are rolled and it's odd, you pick up the bean bag.
So they roll the dice, and if it's even, you grab it, and Joel gets a point. And Jay grabbed it, it would be a point for B. Oh, 1-1 each. Let's just see if we get a tiebreaker here. 7. Oh, neither of them grabbed it. Oh, we got a winner.
So if they grab it when they shouldn't, then the other partner would get a point. This is a little noodle tap, so they're trying to tap each other's knees. Let's just go past that one. This push-up hockey is like the other one, but we're just facing each other. And this is trying to do a one-handed push-up. You can try it from your feet or your hands. They're just trying to get their nose onto that. But it's a pretty tough little activity.
One-handed push-up.
He's got it. He's got it. Oh, he just couldn't get back up here. But that's just a nice little challenge. Seated toss, again, you can do this at home with a bigger ball or a smaller ball. Either if you're individually against the wall or with partners. So in this case, we're using partners, but you could do this just as well against the wall at school and keep it
we
COVID
go
safe.
one way, just a great abdominal wall strength. All right, why don't we switch it around and go the other way? Because again, we want to make sure we develop the whole body, not just one side of the body. So here we go.
This is just around the 1 minute clock while they're seated and they spin it around. You could look at that one on your own, and then the same activity done standing up. So fitness activities can also be done without using weights, but just using your own body. And maybe this is a good opportunity for students to develop their own workout routine. So in this case, we've got
push-ups. So
Lift and
first
push-up
one's just a
activities.
straight hop and back,
So the double
straight hop
knee.
and back, climber next. So just kind of leaving one foot.
There we go. And to do like your dips, you could do that like on a staircase or on a chair. And there's different lunges.
So we're just going to do a set of lunges here. The first one is just walking forward, backward. There we go. Perfect. Now we'll do a lunge with a twist. So lunge and then twist over. And then we'll do the other leg and we'll twist over there. Now we'll do a side lunge. And really the key here is in a straddle position. And then the key would be to drop your butt down and
There we go. So again, just using no equipment at all, just your body weight. And then squats, you can do a jump squat, or you can do it with a heavier ball.
the first one is a nice high jump squat. Just reaching up nice and high. And the next one is not jumping, but just using a weighted ball. This is a, there we go, perfect. And just doing this.
And for the biceps and so on too, these resistance bands are can be challenging, but also very purposeful. Again, for an individual kit at home, or the kit that they could just take home in high school, this would be a really good one. So just bicep curls here, and they're just going to a press, and then you want to balance the body, so then the biceps will go now just to the back. And we'll try to do our triceps, and do our triceps this way. Ladder activities, I mentioned that before, so we'll pass on that. If you go to the PowerPoint, you'll see what equipment that we used and the expenses. And I'll talk a little bit further about the web resources in the next presentation. So thanks again. If you do want to download this, you can download it at my website at workshops. Thank you very much.